Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome back to my 31 Days of Horror in October, Day 13. Today we're going to be talking about Blood Feast, the remake of the sequel of the original. Okay, Blood Feast is a 2016 film which runs approximately 96 minutes and is written and directed by Marcel Waltz. Now, this is a guy I'm pretty familiar with. I did watch the movie Blind, which I absolutely loved. That was recommended to me by Dave Maggot as well. And I think this guy is extremely talented. Now, this stars Robert Russler as Fawad Ramsay. Now, Robert Russler, of course, was Grady in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Caroline Williams as Louise Ramsay. She was Stretch in TCM 2. And Sophie Monk as Penny Ramsay. Now, this is a German/US kind of cohabitation, and the budget was $1.2 million. The worldwide gross, unfortunately, was $8,708. So, yeah, not too good. But that is not how I felt about this movie. Okay, I'm going to get into the synopsis a little bit, but I wanted to say something first. The way I feel about remakes is, I know a lot of people just tend to hate them. I like remakes when you take the source material and you do something a little bit different with it. And that is a prime example of Blood Feast. Now you have Fawad Ramsay, and this is probably going to sound very familiar because I'm sure most people have seen either Blood Feast, Blood Diner, or Blood Feast 2 All You Can Eat. This is about Fawad Ramsay. Fawad Ramsay has a wife and a daughter, and they had just recently moved to France, near Paris, kind of in a suburb of Paris, where he opened up an American diner. Fawad Ramsay is a family man who loves his wife and daughter and really wants the best for his family. He is also on depression medication. That's where this kind of takes a little bit of a different turn. He is having financial strain at the time. His business is not really doing that well, and kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back is he's filling up his pills, and they fall into the bathroom sink and all go down the drain. And I can definitely relate to this because if you don't have a lot of funds, you tend to want to wait until the doctor can prescribe them next time, because usually they won't issue you another prescription for that kind of stuff. A lot of it is a controlled substance. So he is basically in tears and suffering from depression, and his medicine basically went down the drain. He also has a second job as a museum security guard. As he's kind of losing his mind from not taking his depression medication, he starts seeing things as he's a security guard in the museum. And the stuff he is seeing is the Egyptian sort of set in the museum. He thinks it's coming to life and is telling him that he needs to make a grand buffet to appease Ishtar, which will be his queen, if he satisfies her with this grand buffet. And the grand buffet is going to be consisting of 7 boys and 7 girls. I'm going to leave it there. You guys pretty much know where it's going from there. This is a film that pretty much holds true to the original film, but adds a little bit of social awareness. Now, as long as you don't beat me over the head with it, I'm fine. I get mental illness. You know, I'm not going to disclose my history with mental illness, but I can definitely identify with it. And I know kind of where they're coming from as they wrote this. I think it was a really interesting turn. It's done extremely well. The acting is really good. The blood is just flowing in this movie. It's kind of gross in some spots, to be honest. And I really enjoyed this. I actually gave this one an 8, and that is 8 bleeding skulls. They do have this on Hamilton Book, which is where my daughter actually bought this for me for fairly cheap. So I would say pick this up if you're a fan of Herschel Gordon Lewis, which he does have a small part in the film. He was already deceased when this movie came out, but they did do him justice. I just wish the editing was a little bit better on his part. You could tell they were kind of chopping it together, which I get, but yeah. Yeah, this one was a good one. 8 bleeding skulls, I gave this one. Stay tuned for day 14, and if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.